Well, I have got myself some homework to do because last job of the day, had a look at this. Now, usually I fix stuff like this out on site, but unfortunately with this one, I needed to take it away, and you'll see why. So this all needs cleaning up, and this needs refurbishing. Now, why aren't we just putting in a brand new plastic one? Well, because there is nothing on the market that will work. You see how attached to the siphon we got this lever joint, and basically this, obviously, instead of having a handle, this is actually a chain that goes through the cistern and it pulls down from underneath. So there is nothing like this on the marketplace. You're never going to be able to find one of these easily. So let's take it apart and we'll start cleaning. Right, so there's a few things that I've noticed. So I took this apart on site to have a quick look. Now the problem is someone has tried fixing this maybe 80s, 90s, whenever, and they've basically tried to put a diaphragm inside of this and then this on top. Well, this is the diaphragm, so as this pulls up inside of here, inside of this chamber, it pulls water up and over. As water's trying to rush through these holes here, this lifts up and that lets the water through, and then it goes up and over and siphons. So if we look closely, you can see that at some point there was a stopper there. There would have been a nut or something, probably a big nut, that would have stopped this from coming up and getting caught like this. So it's probably just got caught like that. So what we need to do is we need to find out a way that we can cut that flush. Now my idea is to put this through. Now we got a 8mm coupler, and we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to solder into this, because this is all brass. Everything is brass or copper, so that is the plan. So we're just going to start by wire wooling this and giving everything just a quick once over. Alright, there we go. So just aesthetically it's going to look a bit better, and you can see, look, that's brass, that's copper, that's brass. Get a bit of an idea, it's made by Fordham. So there we go, at least we've uncovered that. Now for the rest of the stuff, apart from the plates, I'm just going to quickly clean these bits up with the wire drill attachment. Right, now this bit I've got to be really, really gentle with. So this plate has to seal. Now I can't be using nothing too rough, so we're just going to just lightly sand this down. And this is basically got to be mirror finish and perfectly flat. So circular motions, just going to clean up the anything that's sticking up that's rough and get it nice and clean. There we go, I think that would just about do. That's nice and shiny. And then on this part here, it's just this little ring over here. Well, that will sit down and sit on top of it. So we're just going to give that a gentle clean up around there. I don't know if that will show up on camera, but yeah, it's just that little ring around there. Right, so that's that. That's on there. Now we need to file this flat. Right, so you can see we put the 8mm socket inside of there. I don't think we need to file that flat. 8mm socket inside of there. Now I've got to clean this up. This is brass, and then we can put that through there, then solder that on. Then that's that on, so it's only this bit that can move. Then we got to figure out how we're going to stop that from being able to come off. There you go. Right, so that's now firmly attached to there. That's not going anywhere. Now, another thing I've noticed is at some point the link probably snapped. Now, a modern link is that much wider, and someone has drilled that out. Looks a bit precarious, but there we go. Now this, like I say, I think there would have been a nut that would have attached it, pinched in between that nut, and there would have been one on top. So Going to put our new nicely clean plate on top. Now we've got to figure out a way of that not being able to slip off of there. Oh, I'm getting really bored of this now. Right, so remember that little bit around there that I said earlier that I was going to file off, and then for some reason I didn't? Well, I do need to, because that washer's got to go on there. That's ever so slightly wider. Now what that does is that stops that from being able to go up and over, allowing that gap for the water to flow through to go up through the siphon. Now, I can't think of a way of attaching that other than get another 8mm socket, putting it over and then soldering it on. But what I might do is I have to cut it in half, because when it goes up through here, obviously I don't want it to restrict in any way. So, now that that's done, I'll see you in the next video where you can see whether or not it works. Let's put that back together. And we can do like a really cool thumbnail. That'll do for a thumbnail, won't it? So let's take a look at this old toilet, and the problem that we're going out to is that it will not flush. So this is a toilet made by Royal Dalton. You might have heard of those before, but yes, at one point they must have made toilets. But we're having a look and we're thinking, hang on a minute, see how the chain goes through the system. This is very, very rare. It's not something that you see very often whatsoever. We're going to have to try and fix this toilet siphon. So I'm going to take off the nut, get it removed, and let's take a little look. So there it is. Have a little look round it. See if there's anything clear and obvious. I'll take it to the van to dismantle it on site. And what did I find? Well, it had kind of been bodged back together. Not according to how it would have needed to be done, how it's supposed to be done. So you see we have that diaphragm washer there that I'm holding. That is nothing to do with it. It's not original. And so I had to take this away and I had to repair it. So the last thing I had to do, if you haven't already seen that video, was I just need to secure that penny washer to stop the diaphragm being able to lift up and over. So I listened to your recommendations and I got a 10 to 8mm reducer and I put that on there. So I've tapped and hammered everything back into place so that the arm is locked in. And the only thing that will be unoriginal will be the rubber seal on the bottom, which I nicked off of one of my Viva siphons. So we now got to this stage where we're putting the siphon back in place. So we're going to start by doing everything up hand tight so that we can make some small adjustments if we need to before we go tightening it up fully and it being in its final place. So we need to put that chain on. And when I put the chain on, I've noticed that it's not nice and straight. So like we say, we're just going to pull that over so it's closer and everything goes flush and straight. And then we can tighten it back up perfectly. Now we also need to make sure that that ball arm joint can move nice and freely. And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter, I ended up replacing it anyway. So that all got replaced. Now we're going to be putting all of the bottom nut back on, and you don't need to use grips on this because it's actually got a rubber seal inside of it. So let's turn it back on, wait for it to fill up, and tell me in the comments, what do you think them bells are for? Because we know it's an old house, looking at this old toilet. But what could the bells be for? Put it in the comments. Yeah, you can tell why I replaced it, because it was filling up so slowly. The anticipation was killing me. Fuck yes. Working. So, we know it flushes, but I always have the 10 flush rule, so let's give it another go. Perfect.